I am going to start by activating the yeast. What I use for this recipe is a half a cup of water, and on the packages I know it says like 110 degrees. I think that's like way too hot. I go by baby bath water. If you would stick a baby in there and it's not too cold and it's not too hot for that baby, that's kind of really where you want it. The recipe that I use also calls for 2 packages of yeast. I don't have packages of yeast. I have yeast, you know, I buy it in a larger quantity, and you know, I had a mishap on another videotaping, so let me fix that. So I need 2 packages. 1 package of yeast is 2 1/4 teaspoons, so I need 4 1/2 teaspoons. Seeing that a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons, I need 1 tablespoon. I need 1 teaspoon, so that's 4 teaspoons, and I need a 1/2 teaspoon right there. Then to help your yeast, it needs something to activate with or to eat, and my recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of sugar, so I also put 1 of my tablespoons of sugar in here. Then I mix this up, and I try to dilute, you know, the yeast as good as I can, kind of get it off the sides of the cup. And what I am doing, I am going to try, this is my mixing bowl from my electric mixer, and I'm going to start creating the environment inside here. So once I get this in here, all of my mixing is going to happen in this bowl. I have tried, you know, when I use larger recipes, it was too big for this, and then if I split it, it doesn't really work. Okay, so I am going to let this activate. I put it inside my bowl, because now this cup is warm. My bowl is kind of room temperature, and I cover it up, and I just happen to have this plastic cover here that I use, but you can use saran wrap or a towel or, you know, whatever. So we'll come back I'll probably let that sit 15 minutes, and I'm going to go off and do something else, and we'll come back in a little bit and see how this is looking. Okay, let's see where we're at with this yeast here. We'll open this up, and ooh, look at that. That yeast has really, really activated. Let's see that in there. So what I do, now there's still some in here. I have I've warmed up my milk and melted my margarine. So I usually we'll just kind of, oh, that's kind of hot. Pour this over the top. Just kind of rinse the rest of that yeast off of there. So that was 2 cups of warmed milk. And to that, I will also add the rest of my sugar. So I need 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I need a tablespoon of salt. I am just going to use sea salt. I'm wondering, well, I'm going to use sea salt. It just won't be as salty, which that's probably a good thing. Sea salt. And I mix that in. And I also put in, you know, about a cup of flour. And I get that mixed in until all the flour, you know, is incorporated and not lumpy. So, okay, that's pretty well incorporated. And okay, I'm going to cover this up now, and I'm going to let this sit and let this get all bubbly and activated again. So this will be our second rise. And next we will incorporate the rest of the flour, get it on the mixer, and mix it up. And I use these dough hooks for that. And then after that, we'll let it rise again. We'll punch it down, roll it out, get it in the pan, let it rise for a 4th time, and get it in the oven. Okay, this is set for about 15-20 minutes. Let's see what we got growing in here. Alright. Okay. I don't know if you can see in there all the bubbles. So this is going really well. Now what I'm going to do is here we can see that bubbling away. It's still going really good. I'm going to bring my mixer over here. Get this on here. Back up a bit here. Alright, I'm going to get my hooks on here. As you should not handle the hooks or the beaters while it's plugged in case it does go on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on, and then I'm going to incorporate what's left of my 30 ounces of flour into here. And then once I get it all in there, I'm going to let it run for like 5 minutes. And that takes place of having to do it by hand. Can't really do that anymore. It hurts my hands and my wrists. So anyway, I can go off and do something else, fold a load of laundry or something while this is mixing. Okay, so let's get this incorporated. Okay, this has been going for about 7 minutes after it all got incorporated. So, we'll unplug this. We'll open this. Get our hooks out of there. One good sign is when these hooks come out clean. You can see it's springy, but isn't really like sticky. So that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this off of here, and I'm going to just cover this up again, and I'm going to let that rise. And while I'm letting that rise, I'm going to clean up my dishes and put my mixer away and do all that. So back in I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, I think I'll let that sit. It's been about 45 minutes, and they've at least doubled in size. By having them equal amounts, they rose up equally, so they should bake equally. And I think they are going to turn out really good. So I'm going to throw them in the oven, 425 for 30 minutes, and we'll see them when they're done. Okay, here are my loaves of bread. I baked them for a half hour and I took them out. I immediately took them out of the pans and put them on the cooling rack. I actually took them out onto my screen porch. It's it's like 60 degrees outside. Cool, I gotta get outside. I took them out to my screen porch to cool. So now I am going to take one and cut it and see what it looks like inside. From the outside here, it's really quite spongy. I don't know if you can see that. It's very spongy. So one other thing about using a pan like this is you get these lines, and it does help to cut your bread straight as you're going along, because it is easier to cut from the side rather than from the top. So let's go. See what this looks like. Alright, here we go. Wow, that turned out really nice. Oh, look how spongy that is. I don't know if you can tell. It's just really spongy. Pops right back. A couple little holes here, but overall I think the whole thing is really solid. Smells really good too. So there you go. I think for me at least, weighing my flour is really the ticket. I can just weigh that out, get all my other ingredients, and whip out some really good bread, and I'll know it turns out probably every time. So let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to go into more detail on anything, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.